What's up guys, back in today with another reaction to Kowloon Generic Romance, this time with episode 12, the penultimate episode. Looking forward to this one. I've enjoyed the last couple of weeks, to be honest with you guys, after relaxing a little bit on like the theorizing and kind of trying to work everything out, which is just didn't go too well for me. But yeah, I like the last couple of weeks. Really like the revelations last episode of things all kind of conforming to Kudo's consciousness. I don't know if it's like consciousness, his subconscious, his mind and his memories is what kind of impacts this place. Yeah, just some really interesting stuff last week, so looking forward to probably seeing a few more kind of revelations and stuff today. We saw the kind of motivations behind the snake dude with the cut tongue as well, which I thought was quite cool. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this one in the comments. Leave a like on the video if you guys do like, and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up to date. Oh, you know, that was pretty close to. That was just last week. Oh wait, no, it was July, wasn't it? My bad. I always mix up June and July. Yeah, crazy end to the episode as well, of course. With was it Xiaolei was his name? Again, they're Chinese, so they're really hard to remember. Xiaolei, something like that. And the blonde girl. Kind of going past their regret, and therefore, unfortunately, kind of not being able to see Kowloon anymore. I keep saying this, but it does very much feel like Silent Hill, and like I haven't seen Jacob's Ladder, but that's probably something similar to that as well. I need to watch that movie. I gotta say the subtitles are ginormous. I don't mind that though. Better than them being small. So I guess I'm watching like a different version than usual today. Just yeah, the subtitles are, they just use a different font. I don't know. He was there working. So did he work? I'm not sure what to make of that. So was he working on the kind of reconstruct? Because he was physically there working on it. But I almost feel like he's more so working on the reconstruction of it based off Kudo's memories. I don't know. Again, I'll let things flow. Interesting that though. Yeah, I'm glad we're seeing a bit more revealed about his motivations and his past. So if I'm right, it's only Gwen, this dude, and Kudo that can see the old Kowloon now, right? Still no idea what a zirconian is. I'm almost assuming at this point it's what Kujirai is. She's the zirconian. Whatever the fuck that is. Hold on. That sucks. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Miyuki doesn't like his dad, so it doesn't suck to him, but that condition really is awful. Yeah, that's kind of funny, isn't it? His own, yeah, he's kind of been left like he can't even. How is he meant to get out of his regret if he can't act upon it now? I mean, he can, but he's obviously seemingly kind of like obsessed with revenge. Yeah, he's now not going to be able to do that. So that is probably his biggest and his major focus of kind of leaving that regret, which might not even happen. Even if you get revenge, you still have regret in your heart quite often. But from the way he sees it, that's just like that opportunity gone as well. Like getting past whatever events happened. And what the fuck is that? This guy is literally just like plot. Is what this guy is. That's his character. To move the plot. I'm not a massive fan of him. As I said, he very much just feels like he was made to advance the plot along. Like I don't have any. It's a common thing. You see it done a little bit smoother, but as I said, I don't know his motivations yet. We know he has a relationship with the old doctor guy, but I really don't even know too much about him other than like the candies he has. He very much like he's got these candies that help people regain their memories. He seemingly knows everything. Like he feels obviously every character's written for the plot to some extent, but he very much feels like this guy. We've added him in here so that people can understand the plot better and the plot can move along. And he's just like he's not really a character in a way. So I'm not a big fan of him. He helps the story, so I'm a fan of that. But he's just like I don't know. I wouldn't say it feels unnatural, but he does just feel like he was just plopped in here, and yeah, very unnaturally. I guess is the word for it. But again, maybe that's just my understanding of things being confused because as I've said throughout this whole show, I've never been like 100% comfortable with my knowledge of things going on. Like, there's never like it's a good and a bad thing that whenever we're with this guy, there's never like nothing going on, which is like a good thing. But it's also that thing that's going on is usually very important. Always, there's never any kind of like seemingly like character development in him. It's usually just again just him moving the plot along in every one of the scenes. Oh, hey, that's the name. I guess I was kind of close. So yeah, makes sense. We're going to be seeing a lot more of this guy towards the end here, doesn't it? Like I said, I just don't care for him nearly as much as Fujirai, Brunga, Yao Mei, or whatever her name is. Like I said, the names absolute pain in the ass. Yeah, Gwen, even the Snake guy. I care more for the Snake guy, even though I'm not a major fan of him either. Yeah, I guess we. Yeah, I don't really think about that, to be honest. That these notes were actually from him, essentially now, aren't they? I mean, that sounds very plausible, doesn't it? In a real world, let alone here. Like I said, this guy is just like exposition, isn't he? Okay, so this is like, as I said, the flaws of his character really are coming to light as the series goes on here, aren't they? I don't want to keep complaining about it, but it's just like very. Oh, you're the plot guy. You're the guy that's going to tell us the whole plot. Everything can be explained from you, and that is all you're here for. Apologies. Heishu has not been too good lately, but yeah, his kind of negative shortcomings are coming up quite a bit here, aren't they? Interesting though. So this is actually some kind of failed experiment at creating memories, creating a kind of a real hallucination in a sense. They're talking about like the drug hallucinations. This is almost like the same thing. You could almost say that this generic terror is like a kind of messed up memory of those drugs in a sense of like those drugs would make you hallucinate. This is like a real kind of hallucination in a sense. It's a little bit different, but yeah, interesting. So yeah, we're in a future where they're at a point where they can kind of reproduce old memories, which I don't think is useless. Obviously, it's not their intended purpose, and they want to create new kind of things, new cities, new towns, or whatever, rather than replicate old ones. But I still think there's quite a bit of value in that. There's always that thing of never getting like stuck in the past, which does kind of make it lose value, as we're seeing here, kind of people stuck in their regret, which is not good for you. But I don't think it's like all negative. I think there could be positives, like addressing your regret, as we've seen last week, addressing who you were in the past and such, which I think is quite beneficial. So I wouldn't say this this generic terror thing is useless, but not what they set out for. It's more accurate. Like I said, when I think of Silent Hill, I think of like, yes, it's very sad and depressing, but ultimately it ends up being like a pretty good message for the person that goes there. To be honest, I don't really know what a Chinese winter looks like. Is Chinese winter cold? Okay, I got no idea. So this is the drug dealer we saw. So she's selling these pills that he was talking about. We saw this last week as well, I believe. Yeah, his ultimate goal is to kill her, isn't it? Again, still not 100% sure why, but well, that doesn't solve the problem, does it? Think. No, that's just a stupid way of thinking, right? How would that no. That's like that's way too easy an equation to sort out somebody's regret. I think she would. I don't think that's truly becoming her own person. No, I don't agree with this from either side. Just for yourself. Exactly. Oh, I think of it as it's even worse if you take her life, because then he's got almost no chance of getting over his regret because he can't face it. I'm saying this assuming that he did actually kill the original Kujirai, by the way. Still not 100% sure if that happened, but I am choosing to believe him. And the more this goes on, I think the more plausible that is. But yeah, there's plenty of like, I think lean is something that's created from like prescription drugs or something, right? Never done that myself. when I was growing up, when all my friends and such were doing drugs, I was as well, of course. But one I never done was Xanax. That was a very popular one with all my friends. I never even tried it myself, but always kind of wanted to. But obviously now I've stopped doing that stuff. I'm glad I didn't. They were pretty easy and pretty cheap to get hold of, I think. But yeah, there's like loads of prescription stuff like that you could get your hands on. Oh, yeah, sorry, I'm so sniffly, guys. Ooh, yeah. So it's because he remembers the initial Kowloon, I think, right? Seeked. See, I don't know about you again. Sorry to pause, but I think my granddad had dementia, and I wasn't ever majorly close with him, but it was really tough seeing anybody like that. But I think that's if he was hoping for revenge, that's kind of like he obviously wasn't satisfied. I don't think that's satisfying for you, but I think if you really really hated the person, that would be like a satisfying thing for you in a sense of that person must be. I don't know how it would. Obviously, I don't know how it would feel to have dementia, but that's again from the outside looking in. It seems incredibly hard to deal with. So that's like it's like a worse revenge than you could have ever gotten in a sense, right? But potentially like a fate worse than death in a sense. Again, I don't know. I never. Well, I might experience it one day, but hopefully not. Um. So yeah, I think because he's not physically kind of inflicting it, it doesn't really have that satisfaction. But said, I feel like that could be actually worse than anything he could have done to him. Shiny. Oh, these guys. These guys. Oh, bloody hell, that thing is dripping. What the hell? How did you sweat that much? Look at the size of that puddle. Oh, that was a leak. That's the kind of sweat we've been seeing from Rock is a Lady's Modesty. That shit, those women sweat big time. Maybe more than that. So that's not actually sweat. Oh shit. Past summers. Summers, by the way. How many have there been? Yeah. Shit. Yeah, how many summers have there been? How many Reiko Kujirais has he met? Oh shit. This is kind of also feels a little bit like that kind of like Mind Palace stuff from like Persona a little bit. So it's metal stability. I literally just bought. Okay, well those last 5 minutes went by very quickly. Yeah, it looks like it's I don't know if this is like is mental stability kind of waning a little bit here, or this is like a reset. Because again, the way he spoke about there being multiple summers there, and her never being like this before, yeah, obviously makes me feel like he's experienced at least like maybe 3, 4, 5 different versions of this. I don't know. Or again, I think maybe his mind is just breaking a little bit. I don't know. He looked again. The more this goes on, the more I very much do believe he probably killed Kujirai. And this place is so big and vast and detailed because he's got that much regret. Like what else? What else in regret terms would make you this kind of insane in a way? This is insane in a sense, isn't it? Because as he said there, it's like he's never moving forward. He's never going back and addressing it. He's just constantly stuck in that period of just like seemingly like just before the tragedy or whatever. And yeah, I don't know. Again, I really like concepts like this. It definitely like you could definitely feel the pacing, unfortunately, for this anime. Like I said, with the white-haired character just being an absolute plot device. Like his character, he's almost got no character. He has quirks, but he is just plot device number one essentially. And that is that almost plays in part with how the story's been structured so far. I think from episode 1 to 8, we had again very little movement in the plot, and I think unfortunately because of that, we've had to have a lot of movement towards the end. I say unfortunately, I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed where it's gone. I just think it could have been paced better if we spread these last kind of 3 or 4 episodes, kind of the stuff we've learned throughout the earlier episodes, where we focused so much on character development and character interactions and relationships. Again, through like episode 1 to 8, for example, not specifically, but yeah, we focus so much on the relationships and characters during those, and I really like that stuff. I just again, I think they could have like mixed it better, because it very much does feel like episode 1 through 8, a little bit of setup and character stuff. Episode 9 through 12 so far, and probably 13 as well, very much plot stuff and a little bit of character stuff. Again, I just feel that could have been a better mix, because we really kind of again get a lot of exposition, a lot of plot stuff explained to us, a lot of that, and we're not having too many of these character moments we see here. At the end of last episode was really good with that character kind of paying off for the character kind of progress that we made earlier on the series. But like this episode, for example, we had the Miyuki stuff to be fair, but I'm not awfully invested in it because again we've had to like kind of wait Like we had that set up, and now we've had to go through a bunch of plot stuff and to wait for that payoff. Whereas we could have had a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here, a little bit there, and then kind of it just would have felt a little bit more natural. So I wouldn't say it's like an issue with the story or the characters. It's just more of a kind of structural kind of thing. I think if it was like it's almost like a puzzle, if the pieces were placed a little bit differently, this is obviously just my opinion. I would have preferred it a little bit better if it was just like a little bit like we had half the episode was plot stuff, half the episode was character stuff, instead of 90% of the character stuff in the first half of the series and then 90% of an episode of plot stuff in the second half of the series. But even so, again, quite interesting kind of revelations here. Shame for Miyuki in a sense. He never really able to get his revenge. I think even if he did get his revenge, his regret wouldn't kind of leave. It might even be more powerful. So it's kind of good he didn't, in a sense. I think that's given him more of a chance to kind of get over his regret and whatever happened to him in the past. Like I said, I like their characters, but I'm not awfully invested in Miyuki, to be honest with you. Much more interested here in this conversation with Kujirai and seeing her kind of how she's going to be like her absolute self and to be a person. And it kind of, again, it just feels so massive for Kudo that it almost feels like it would be impossible for him to get over such a massive regret like this. Like he's gone through this same summer probably countless times, just assuming based off the language he used here. Seems like he's just like replaying these events again and again and again. It's almost like the definition of insanity from is it Far Cry? It's like the definition of insanity is doing something over and over again and expecting different results. And I don't think he's expecting different results. The thing, he just wants to be stuck in this certain time period, and that's pretty insane behavior. I think the look he gives us with those kind of grey eyes really kind of gives away, like, yeah, this dude, like this shot here, it's like this dude, he seems cool, but he's actually kind of crazy. He is the kind of guy that would kill his wife and then regret it so much, be so pained by it, he'd be stuck in a kind of loop essentially of the summer he spent with this woman for God knows how long. So yeah, interesting in that regard, but like I said, it just doesn't feel as naturally paced. But maybe that's just me. Maybe other people prefer this kind of like setup with it being majorly focused on one area, then kind of moving into a different direction. It's all just a thing of taste. But like I said, I feel like I would have enjoyed the show a lot more, and I still enjoy it. I love the tone of it, especially. But yeah, I feel like I would have enjoyed it if it just had a little bit, maybe even a couple more episodes would have like helped in a sense of kind of spreading things out a bit more evenly. I don't know. Yeah, whatever. Good episode though. Looking forward to seeing how we do end things off next week. I did say at the start of the series, I believe there's going to be a live action movie that ties into all of this, which I'm still not really sure how to feel about, and I won't be sure how I feel about that till I watch it. I hope I'm pleasantly surprised, but I don't have massively high hopes for it. It's just like it's too, I mean, I know they're both kind of cinema in a sense. One's TV, one's big screen, and they're both going to be well, I said that one's animation and one's live action, but it's a very big difference going from live action to anime, to be honest. So yeah, it might be a bit jarring, but yeah, that should be interesting. But again, let me know what you guys thought about this one down in the comment section. Again, lots of interesting things revealed here, and again, probably going to be plenty of things going to be revealed and discussed upon, primarily by the Whitehead character next episode. So yeah, again, let me know what you guys thought in the comments. Leave a like on the video if you guys did like, and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up to date. And I'll see you guys next week for the season finale.